Hello and welcome to Hammers Chat Transfer Chat. It's been a while, but we are back. It's myself, Geo from hammerschat.com with Tom. In case you don't know, we've got a mobile phone app out. It's called West Ham app. It's on Android and iOS. If you want to be lazy, if you just type in hammerschat.com on your mobile, on your Safari or your internet, and there's icons there that'll take you directly to your app store. So make sure you download it. It's 100% free. Tom, we've been talking recently about the incomings, but it's the big one this weekend is the outgoing, and one in particular is Mr. West Ham. Well, he would be Mr. West Ham and Mark Noble wasn't there, wouldn't he? He's been with the club for years. How does it feel knowing that James Tomkins could be leaving?
I'd be absolutely gutted. I'd be absolutely gutted. I've seen so many people this week say, you know, they can justify a fee for 12 million and to see him leave, but especially going into European competition, you need at least 4 good centre-backs. And I know that him leaving potentially paves a way for the youth to come through, but for someone of his experience that can also cover right-back if we need him to, and like you said, he's just missed West Ham through and through. If Mark Noble wasn't there, and to see him go would be absolutely devastating, I think.
Do you think it's a big fee, though, for James Tomkins? Because ultimately he is our, at best, third choice centre back. So it is 10 million to 12.5 million, whichever report you believe. Is that a good fee for our third choice centre back, or because the way the money is going about this transfer window, it's not actually as much as you think?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, if you're looking in the papers and Troy Deeney's rejecting a move to Leicester for 25 million, you know, potentially getting 12.5 for James Tomkins is probably a very good deal. And it is a very good deal for someone that is the third string centre back. But I think you also have to take into account he's very experienced, and it would probably take a lot for West Ham to get rid of him because they realise he is Mr. West Ham. And whilst it is a very good fee, this is the double-edged sword here. I think he's indispensable really to the club for what he brings.
But do we owe it to James? Do we owe it to him to allow him to leave for first team football? If it's his wish, it sounds like it might be the player that's saying, I wouldn't mind leaving to go get first team minutes. Do we owe it to him to let him go?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably would, because he's been a great servant for the club. Probably more prominent when we were in the Championship and we were short on centre backs. And over the last few years, he's turned into a pro's pro. You know, he doesn't mind sitting on the bench. He doesn't mind filling in where necessary. You know, I bet he's someone a bit like Antonio. You put him in goal and he put the gloves on for you. But I think it's fair for him to go out and spread his wings a bit, because I think he can handle it. I think he can handle it. No issues there.
You said that he's probably happy to sit on the bench now, but do you think there comes a point where he's sitting thinking, well, why am I on the bench? Because I've been playing well at right back. I got injured, and why am I not getting back in the team? Why am I not centre back when you know, we didn't exactly keep loads of clean sheets last season, did we? While we were impressed with Reading Ogbonna, we were still conceding. So maybe, do you think he might have been thinking, why am I not in this centre back pairing? Why am I not getting a chance there?
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, Collins played so well this year at times. It was probably difficult for him to get in. And the games that he was playing right back, he didn't even do anything wrong. He was fantastic. The best James Tomkins I've seen for a long time. But it just seems with this season, it's the way the cookies crumbled. And unfortunately, you know, he's going to be thinking just, why am I not getting in the team? Yes. But I don't think he'd be the type of person to cause a fuss about it. Do you know what I mean? Being a pro's pro, he's been around for a while, and his love for the club, I don't think that he would kick up a fuss about it. But you're right, he probably does sit there at night and think, why am I not getting in this first team? But I don't think he'd cause too much of a fuss about it if he did.
Well, last question on James Tomkins before we move on. Is Crystal Palace a really good move for him? Because I think this is a fantastic move. Scott Dann's a brilliant centre-back, and them two together could be a very, very good pairing.
Yeah, I think it's good, because, I mean, it keeps him in London, so he doesn't have to travel far, so it's not going to be an issue for him if he moves to settle somewhere. He can probably still live where he lives now. And like you said, Scott Dann is a very good centre-back. And so is Delaney. Delaney's had his ups and downs this year. No, I think it's a brilliant move for him to go to Crystal Palace. And I'd be shocked to see if he did badly next year. But with the amount of money they're spending or willing to spend at the minute, yeah, I think it'd be good for him.
Well, on claretandhugh.info for all your West Ham news, he is reporting that Reece Burke will not be going on loan this season. Do you think that ties in with why we're quite happy to let Tomkins go for that big fee then?
I think it does, and I'm so happy the last few weeks that we're signing Domingos Quina, we're signing trying to sign Ashley Fletcher, someone young kid from Arsenal, that we're giving youth a chance again, and Bilic thankfully, is someone that hopefully would look to give him a chance. And Reece, I didn't get a chance to watch Reece, as I'm sure not a lot of people would have done at Bradford last year, but to see how well he's done, why not? Why not? And Bradford a lot said he's the best player they've had for years at that position. He scoops up all the awards, and don't forget how young he is as well. I think he'd be a sort of like Reece Oxford. Put him in there, he'd quite happily do a job for you, and I think he'd do it well.
Well, I thought he did well under Allardyce, that end of season spell when Allardyce threw him in the deep end. I thought he more than held his own there. But do you think we've only got a couple of years before Reece Burke turns into James Tomkins and goes, well, hang on, now it's my shot for first team football, where are you going to put me? Is this a problem that we can maybe eventually have with Reece Burke, Tom?
It could do, yes, potentially. But how many years James Collins has got left in the tank, I don't know. And also Winston Reid, how long he's got left in the tank, you just don't know. And will he be noticed at some point like Reece Oxford has, where bigger teams are coming in and saying, all right, I want this centre-back to play for me. And I think maybe in a year or so, depending on how his season goes, you may see him in Europe a bit more, I don't know, or the League Cup, FA Cup. He could outgrow some big teams would want to come in, especially because he's young as well. So he'll be attracted better to teams than Crystal Palace.
Well, Tom, you're as young as I and a lot younger than Gonzo. Is this academy? Let's change the subject a little bit. It's where James Tomkins has come from our Academy of Football. You've just mentioned we're looking to poach a couple of youngsters, if you like. Is this a completely different strategy to what you've ever seen at West Ham in terms of away from the first team people? We're looking around. We're looking who's available, who's good, and let's get them in. They're like, it's Campbell that from Man City that really excites me. If he can bag almost 100 goals in 2 seasons, Man City are trying to keep him, and like Samuelson, and if we can get him there, is this impressing you, Tom, the Youth Academy?
Yeah, it is, and it's strange because it was weird hearing David Sullivan speak a few months back, because he said, "I don't want to buy for 10 years' time. I want to buy for now." But clearly, somebody has had an influence in the backroom staff. I'm guessing Bilic, who does want to build for the future. Maybe because I can see him here at the helm for the next 10 years. He wants to build for the future, and it's good to see, because a lot of teams don't really care for the under 21s, the under 18s, because I don't think they see it as a good competition. They'd rather send players out on loan. And to have that youth is brilliant. I love it when teams pay attention to youth, especially the good ones. And if we're having the ability to poach these good youngsters from these good academies, some of these players like that Domingos Quina, in 5 years' time are going to be absolutely brilliant, especially because we've got such a good academy and the right people there to mentor and teach them, because there's so many players, Rio, Ferdinand, Lampard, other people like that who have come through it, and they know potentially how good they could be going through an academy such as West Ham's, the Academy of Football. And it is brilliant, yeah.
Well, young Dave Sullivan, the Sun, thinks that Quina will be the best signing we make this summer eventually. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. But Tom, do you think it's a perfect recipe? You're right, Dave Sullivan has said, I'm looking for next season. But is it the perfect recipe that we've then got Terry Wesley and Tony Henry saying, well, you go do that, we will then go by for the next 5-6 years' time? Is that the perfect setup possible at a football club, that you've got one planning for next season, but you've got someone else planning for 5 years' time?
Absolutely. There's no two ways about it. You have to have a plan A and a plan B. And I think a lot of the people that we could buy who are, say, plan B for 5 years' time could probably step in and play now. I know Samuelson can quite easily play in and step in now, and don't forget how young he is. And like we just said a second ago, I think Terry Wesley is the right man to shape these players' careers and their future. And I don't see any issue. Like we said, I trust completely what they do, and I see no issue with it.
Right, we're ready to move on to the striker talk. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe to our channel here. We've got lots of content coming out in the next few days. We'll be back tomorrow night on Sunday with a Euro 2016 show. We've got a fancy league in up against the West Ham YouTube communities. We're doing quite well, and we'll see how the next couple of games go. Well, Tom, let's move on. We missed out on our top or second target. He's off to Chelsea. What do you make of that then? We put in the bid. It got accepted. Are you surprised at how big a bid it was? Yeah,
because I think a lot of people the last couple of days have said we've dodged a bullet with Batshuayi. They're not sure how good he potentially can be. And I don't know how much he's going to get played at Chelsea, because unless Costa goes back to Madrid, Chelsea don't usually play with two strikers; they have one. So Costa's up front, and I don't really see how he fits that system at the minute. Anyway, or that all might change, but it was a pretty big bid, yeah. But fair play to Chelsea; they wanted their man. They were quite happy to overbid for him. I think, because by all estimations, he could be the next Divock Origi, or he could be the next top striker. So I think you'll have to see as the season goes on. But at the minute, it just looks like they've overpaid for him.
Were you disappointed, Tom, personally, or was that not your preferred choice?
It wasn't my preferred choice, no. But I think, in a way, it is disappointing, yes, because there's all this talk of us on social media and our owners coming out. And I'm not slating them, I'm not saying bad things, but I think maybe it was the wrong decision to come out and talk openly about the strikers and then try and haggle for a bargain. Because if we'd have put that bid in maybe 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this, we may have found ourselves with a striker already, but we're trying to get the best deal possible, which I understand, and that's absolutely fine. But I'd rather them put their money where their mouth is and pay what they know the player is worth and get them. But thankfully, as he wasn't my preferred target, it was, it kind of worked out all right. But I think the owners need to put in money where their mouth is. But I trust them completely.
What I will defend the owners in there, I don't think it would make a difference if we made a bid a week ago. I think if we did it a week ago, I think Chelsea would have come in then as well. I think it was just a case of who goes first. Palace went first, we sprung into action, Chelsea sprung into action. I think that would have happened a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It was just a case of who put the first bid in. Apparently, Lacazette, apparently Leon are saying, some people are saying he's not going to be going, and some are saying they want 42.5 million quid. Is that a ridiculous sum, Tom? Or you've just said the owners need to stump up. So do the owners need to stump up 42.5 million big ones for this man?
Yes, you do it now. Pay it. I mean, I'll help contribute towards it. That fella, I mean, he's young, he's quick, he fits the system we play. I think you have to go out and get him because he is that last striker that we've been looking at that is off on the top shelf still, I think. And he proven it the last 2 years. Last year, he wasn't as good, but that wasn't because of him. He still bagged 22, 23 goals. But I know the season before he was more prolific, but last season he didn't have Nabil Fekir, almost like Leon's Payet, who assisted him so much. And he can score either foot. He's a great finisher. And I think you have to, if you want a player like that, you have to pay that amount of money for him. I mean, the difference between having someone like Carroll, who's worth 20 million and gets you maybe 10, 15 goals a season, and Lacazette, who could potentially push 25, 30 a season, I see no questions or anything. You have to go out and get them.
If we signed him and no one else this summer, so we didn't get Hutchinson, we didn't get Toure, we didn't get a right back, we only signed Lacazette, and that was us done. It's currently the 2nd of July. Let's say he's done by a week. The 9th of July, our business is finished. Would you accept that, Tom?
No, because we can still get rid of Valencia and Tomkins, and obviously that gives us a bit more money to play with. If that didn't happen, and we'll say, theoretically, I don't know. It's a tough one. Potentially not. Maybe we could look at loans or something like that. But I think we've already got a good enough squad. We've bought Faguli. We've got Nordveit that can play multiple positions. I'd be quite happy because I know people like Samuelson have to play this year and other things like that. But I think with selling Sacco maybe and Valencia, hopefully, that we should have enough cash to sort of spread about a bit and get some decent replacements.
Well, that's the problem with the owners. If they spend that, you just found it difficult. It's not your money. How do you think? This is probably why the owners are finding it difficult, because it is their money. What happens if then they can't sell the strikers they want for the money? Do they then sell Valencia and Sacco for a bargain just so they've got a little bit of cash to play with for the rest of the window or not? This is why it's difficult for him. But let's talk about Enner Valencia. He's going. It looks like he's going to Turkey or Italy. Tom, would you accept putting him out on loan to see if he does the business elsewhere and then he's still West Ham United's player? Or is it a case for you, a case of you're done and dusted, get out of my club?
Done and dusted, get out my club. I'll package him up. I'll put with a bow on top and send him out now if he wants, because first season, he's shown signs where he was good, but then we sort of changed system and it didn't really fit him this year because I know we played two strikers up top last year and it sort of helped him a bit playing alongside Sacco, but this year he's played out wide a lot more and I don't like what he's done this year. I think he's been way below average, but if somebody is willing to pay and recoup, the money that we got, say 12 million, I'd send him out now. No questions asked.
Well, that's my question for you. What's the price? What do we price Valencia at? Because we paid 12 million. He's not worth 12 million. If you were a Crystal Palace fan, would you pay 12 million for Valencia? No, you wouldn't. So what's the price for Valencia as a fan? What would you be happy with?
12 to 15 million, because, and I'm only saying that because as someone that can play multiple positions, he's quick, he's great in the air, or have seen signs of it. It probably will play. I reckon he could go to a different league and he'll probably get it done. He'll be absolutely brilliant. He might just not be a Premier League player. But you're talking about Troy Deeney potentially going to Leicester for 25 million. You're talking about Chelsea overpaying probably potentially for Batshuayi, who's only 20 whatever years of age. The TV deals next year, you're going to see some people that are getting bought for absolutely ludicrous money. You're going to think, what? How the friggin' hell has he been bought for that much money? And, you know, someone like China would probably pay you like 25 million to have him over there, you know. So I'd take 12 million and run, without a doubt. Well,
you've just said to get that money, we need to send him overseas. However, the TV money isn't overseas. The TV money is in England. So that's where your problem is, I'm afraid, young Tom. If you're wanting the money and you're using the TV as the reason, that means a Premier League club's going to have to buy him. No Premier League club's going to touch him. Not one that's wanting a proven striker. I mean, we're all oohing and ahhing over Benteke, who did the business for Villa non-stop. This is Enner Valencia, who's struggled at West Ham since the day he's come. Final question, Tom. Are you confident? Are you slightly worried? Are you a bit concerned? What's your feelings on the window?
Really happy with the signings that we've made so far. I think getting Feghouli in has been brilliant for us, especially on a free. Same for Nordveit. I think we've done some good business yet again. But I just think the next week or so, we need to start seeing a little bit more of, you know, really pushing for different strikers. And if we're not going to go for Lacazette, then we need to get these options in quickly now and get our business done, because our season starts properly in less than a month now. And, you know, we need to be ready and we need to get these people training together. So at the minute, I'm confident. I trust fully Bilic, board, everything. But I just think they need to come in for chemistry reasons, just to get them ticking before the season properly starts.
Well, there you go. That's Tom's opinions and a little bit mine as well. We want to hear yours now. We've got a forum at hammerschat.com. It's totally free to join, so come join and let us know your thoughts on all the subjects, plus a hell of a lot more. We'll also be in a show called Talk West Ham soon, where you can call in, you decide the topic, and you choose what you want to chat to us about. Also, make sure you check out clienthugh.info for all the latest West Ham news, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, as we'll be back next week covering West Ham's first pre-season friendly as we're off to America. But I've been Geo from Hammer's Chat. That's been Tom. Thank you for watching.